Hello, Supercoaches. It is round 6, our preview podcast, and we've got a massive panel. Rob Sutherland's here, and we've got the podcasting and social media phenomenon that is the Rugby League Guru. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, mate. Quite an entrance.
Yeah, how's your team travelling?
They're actually doing okay. We're hanging in there. I think we're about 12,000, so I've definitely been in worse spots, so pretty happy.
Well, mate, it's a fair bit better than a lot of other people on this panel, put it that way. Rob.
What do you mean a lot of other people? There's literally 2 other people.
Both. That's a lot better than both of us, is what I meant.
I wasn't going to say anything.
No, that was very, very nice of you. Thank you, yeah.
How are you travelling?
Fine. Thank you, Thomas. Just fine.
And there's a strict etiquette. I know you like dropping the F-bomb pretty regularly, but Frank says no swearing on today's show.
Noted.
Because he has to. It takes him a lot of time to bleep it out, and that's time that he uses to pick up his dog from doggy daycare, and we don't want to mess with that. Let's go on to trades for this week. What are you thinking,
mate? This week, I'm going to actually go a little bit left field. I'm going to bring in James Tedesco. Everyone's going to Pappy, and I get it. I don't think he's a bad trade in by any means, but I just can't trust his body at the moment. Cork on the weekend, I get it, but before that he's sort of been hobbling around a little bit. So yeah, I'm going to go to Teddy. I think during Origin he's going to be the guy that I want to have. I think he's probably the most consistent option in the position. So a little bit, I've got a bit of money to play with, so I'm going to go a little bit different and go Teddy at the moment at fullback.
I like it. You've actually stolen my pod of the week, so I'll have to switch up to someone else. I really, really like it. You're going to want him over Origin anyway, so why not get him in? He's bottomed out in price. What are you thinking? Are you boosting again?
I'm boosting again, having not boosted last week. This is a free boost, right? Because I was going to boost, then I didn't boost. So if I boost this week, it cost me nothing.
That's how it works.
That's Rob economics for you. So Turbo out, Mamazoulis out, Finifawaki out. Egan and Cant in, and we'll explain more on Cant in a bit. And Jerome Hughes is the other. I really like Hughes, so I'm putting him in as my flex.
So we do have some breaking news. Michael Carianis, our reporter, is filing soon. I haven't actually seen the copy yet, but Dylan Lucas is still a few weeks away with that hamstring injury. That means the job security of Thomas Cant obviously improves. You've still got guys like Adam Elliott to come back into that team. You've got Tyson Frizzell who can switch to an edge. But it's good for Cant. I've switched up. I have written on here that Egan is going to come in. Since then, I've switched up to Cant. I think he is the better buy. I think he should get 2 or 3 games, which is enough to get 150 at least, 150k.
Yeah, I did the same thing last night. I had Egan all locked in, ready to go. We had NRL Physio on our show, and he sort of pointed out the same sort of stuff. So I've moved to Cant, just from watching him in the junior grades too. He's actually a goal kicker too.
Oh, I had noticed that.
Yeah. He's got a bit of Craig Fitzgibbon about him.
Stuff can happen at Ponga, and
it could be gold all of a sudden. So yeah, I think with that news, if Lucas is out for a while, I think Cant is the must-have guy there.
Do we think that Cant is completely dependent on Dylan Lucas, or is there going to be, can Adam Elliott go for that spot? Will they switch Frizzell to the edge? What do you think is going to happen?
Well, I mean, who knows? But the upside for Cant is A, he's played very well. B, Frizzell and Elliott are both very much capable of being dropped in as middle rotation guys off a bench, right? So Cant, not so much. Plus Cant showed his flexibility when he came straight in at centre and covered for them there. That's got to have won him some brownie points as well.
Yep.
I think it sort of depends a little bit on the debut of Tyrone Thompson this week. I think if he shows that he's the real deal when Lucas returns, that might sort of decide whether you keep Cant or him on the bench. But I think, as you said, mate, he'll make enough money over the next few weeks that it's worthwhile.
Let's chat about Dylan Egan because he is popular and you can go both. I like him. Eye test, he looks really good. I think Flano loves him. I think the job security is good. He won that spot on merit. He hasn't come in through injury or anything like that. So the job security is better, but the price rises are going to be slower. He's more the long-term play. You get the quick cash with Cant.
Yeah, I don't hate it by any means. He's got a bit of Liam Martin in him to me. He's just got a bit of that about him, and Gerringong kid, big favourite of the Dragons down there. So I think he's safe for minutes. Like Harm Saleh got injured again this week, another hamstring injury. So I think he's a safe option. I think he's the second best option this week.
I actually had him ahead of Cant because he didn't have the job security issues that Cant had. And the $100,000 cheaper price means you make money faster. I don't see any either as a keeper. I just want to make cash and move on. The one thing I do like is that he has that edge and centre flexibility. When Gula comes back, I assume Gula's going to come back in a couple of weeks, someone has to go. But I think Egan might stay.
I think he'll stay too. I think he's what they need at the moment.
Yep, absolutely. As a Dragons fan, I'm loving seeing what he's doing. No-go zone. This is the popular move that you should avoid. What are you thinking?
Mate, I own Gutho.
Yeah.
But if I didn't own him, I think paying 800 plus for Gutho is outrageous. It makes me physically ill. I can't bring myself to do it.
The other thing as well is I think I can't remember the exact stat. I used it in the blog. It was like he's averaging 36 or 40 or something
46, I remember it because I regurgitated
Right.
it yesterday.
Thanks, yeah, 46.
I credited you.
Try assists and line break assists combined. Now, he's had a 13-year career. He doesn't suddenly get that much better. That seems unsustainable. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Who's your no-go?
Jaden Sullivan. I don't understand the popularity of Sullivan. He scored 60-odd. I know he came in, played big minutes. I know there's an opening there at the Rabbitohs, but he averaged 10 points as a utility for 4 games before this. Now, you've either got to time it perfectly or whatever he makes, he's going to lose very fast. So, yeah, I don't get that buy.
I originally had Gutho, but I can switch up to both Nicho, Hynes and Kalyn Ponga. They've got big BEs. They're the 7th and 8th most sold players. Don't understand it. Hynes didn't look great on the weekend, was passing way before the line, still got almost 50 points. And then Ponga is coming up against Dogs, which is the best matchup in Supercoach, and gets 30-odd. He's got probably the best run in the competition over the next 5 weeks. Hang tough with Ponga and Hynes.
Yeah, I'm a Ponga owner, mate. I'm feeling good about him.
Yep,
I'm hoping people sell him.
I'm going to captain him as well. On to guilty pleasure. So this is the move that you shouldn't make, but you just can't help yourself.
I'll tell you one that I'm really eyeing off, and it'll depend on team lists and whatnot. I actually wanted to do it last week, then he got ruled out. I love the look of Nicho Arce.
Yeah.
He's just got Supercoach pedigree written across his forehead to me. I think he will line up on the right wing. We'll wait and see, but he's one that I probably shouldn't go to, but I'm very, very interested in him.
I like him. I can't pronounce his name, but I do like him. My worry is I've got a lot of Roosters already, and there's only so many from one team I want to carry, and that ties in with my guilty pleasure, which is Jerome Hughes. Like, that gives me 3 of the Storm spine. There was a try they scored against Manly. It was a thing of beauty. It was Grant to Munster to Hughes to Pappenhausen.
Yeah,
it was like the
whole
spine, bang, bang,
yeah.
bang. And I'm like, ooh, I could have all 4, but 4's too much. 3, still guilty, but I'm all right with it.
3's your number. You can't have more than 3 of them.
I don't think so.
I reckon you can push 4. I reckon you can in that side. Every other team, mate, you just don't know what you're going to get every weekend.
Exactly,
it's
that's what I like with the Storm. Yeah, their attack just looks smooth. Yeah.
My guilty pleasure, I still keep coming back to Riley Smith for some reason, and I'm not sure why. Doesn't make sense on the stat sheet. He's not going to go up by that much money. But I've got 2 guys at hooker, in Mamazelos and Starling. I'm not playing one of them in my 17 each week. So he's just sitting there kind of wasting away. I want to get one of them either up to Grant or down to Riley Smith. I think you're a massive Riley Smith fan.
Mate, I love Riley Smith. Yeah. And the stats so far, they don't reflect the sort of footballer he is. Yeah. Once the attacking stats start, they're going to come in quickly.
But do you have Connor Watson at second row?
No.
Oh,
okay. And I don't have Sandon Smith either.
So you can't pull that. Okay, all right.
Unfortunately not, but yeah, Riley Smith's he's so competitive. He's just a little, one of those guys that if you've got on your team, you'll love him, but if he's on the opposite team, you hate him. He's kind of Reed Marnie-esque in that manner.
No, he's in my classic and draft team, so I'm a big fan.
Welcome to this week's Best Bets powered by Better. Now, Rob, I think you got up last week.
Well, 2 of the legs got up, and the 3rd leg is now pending, right? So I had Tui Piloto and Tass to score tries, and that's into the Broncos to miss the top 4. So my $20 is now worth 160 when the Broncos miss the top 4. You could now go
so we're just waiting around. We may as well just do a show for round 28.
Yeah, but
just to check if
this is about beating the bookies at their own game, right? This is about building up arbitrage. So we now have a guaranteed 160 return from a $20 cost if the Broncos miss the top 4. You could put 120 on the Broncos to make the top 4. You're guaranteed. You're not losing any money. You might make $5 or $6 each way, but we're going to keep building it up each week, right? Broncos are still going to miss the top 4. Xavier Savage to score and Pappenhausen to score. That's another $8.
Huge. It was too complicated for me to understand, but we'll get there one day.
I'll do the maths in a spreadsheet and we'll post it up later.
I'm going much more simple than that. I think the Dragons will win. So they've got a 60% win rate down in Wollongong. The Titans have never won there. They're 6 block down there in Wollongong, plus Tui Piloto to score a try. Everything's going left for them. He's scoring lots of tries, and I don't think the Titans are that good defensively on the right-hand side, so that's paying $2.35. What are you really gambling with? For free and confidential support, call 1-800-858-858 or visit gamblinghelponline.org.au. Heaps of questions flooding through on Twitter, particularly Instagram today when people heard that the Guru was on. People want to know, Hughes or Katoa, who is the priority for this week?
There's a chance I'll boost for Katoa, so I'll go with him. Hughesy, I don't know, every time I seem to get on him, the points just don't seem to flow for me. So I've never been overly keen on Hughes, so Katoa for me.
Well, Hughes carried me home last year. Like, he was sensational at the back end of the year, and I was really happy then. I love what I've seen. Like, against Manly, he was just the maestro. He was calling every shot. Went off, I don't know, was it 70 minutes or 68 minutes, something like that, and still scored 90 plus. I think I'd take Hughes because there's lots of second rowers, but there's not heaps of halves I want.
He dropped 146 on my head in a draft grand final last year, so there might be a bit of bias there,
Right,
okay?
right, yeah.
The Storm are an interesting team because their bye schedule actually isn't that good. They don't play those first two big buys. But then from round 16 onwards, no buys whatsoever. So the question is, do you get on now and then hit that rough schedule around the buys, or do you just wait until round 16? Personally, I think they're probably all going so well that you have to get on now, maybe sell, and then maybe bring it back.
I think so, yeah.
The other question is also about the Storm. Who's the best keeper option at hooker? On form and origin, I'm not sold on Grant. It's a tough position. It's pretty dead, a bit like 5'8". What are you thinking?
Yeah, as far as like Harry Grant and Connor Watson are the two that I want, but obviously origin, you're going to have to make changes there. Mate, the other one that's doing really well, he's coming off a bye this week, is Wade Egan. If he can stay conscious, he's a great pick, but it's my biggest fear, and he's let me down a few times. I don't know.
Wade Egan is your classic reverse Tarpany, right? Tarpany, I know he scored a couple of consecutive 90s, but Tarpany always heats up at the back end of the season. Wade Egan always averages like 15 points more of the opening 8 rounds of the season than he does from the rest of it. He's brave, he's foolhardy maybe the way he sticks his head in there, and it always takes its toll. That's my issue there.
Yep. What about Plath? I reckon Plath's all right because he covers that first bye. He's playing, kind of switching up between edge and middle, named in the middle, I think, this week.
I think he's playing middle now.
Yeah, because they've put Gilbert onto the edge. Look, he's not sexy. He's not going up in price. He's not going down in price. You don't need to move. But he does cover that first bye.
Look, for me personally, like he'd be in my origin side. I'd be picking him in my Queensland
side. That's the thing.
side.
He could go 14. He could certainly go 18 for origin. That's a risk.
So, yeah, I think he will be there. So, I think that solves your problem too.
Pod of the week time. I did have Teddy. I love that. But I'm going to go with Dylan Brown now. Got the bye coming up in a couple of weeks, so that's a bit of an issue. But at only 9%. You look at all the coverage around Dylan Brown this year and you'd think he was having an absolute stinker for SuperCoach. He's only dropped 40k. He's actually been going pretty well. Then in round 9 you've got Moses coming back, which should improve him again.
I like Cam Munster. I've got him in my side, and I think that everyone's talking Hughes, Katoa, Pappy, these guys. 5'8's a bit of a wasteland at the moment. I think Munster's playing really good footy, and I think he'll just be on the end of enough good players to stack up points.
I think you're both excellent judges because both of them are already in my team. So Hudson Young is my weird one. And I know it's a little bit of chasing last week's points. I get that, right? But as you say, we're all raving, as we should, about Katoa. Hudson Young's base is 46, Katoa's is 42. Hudson Young's gone over 75 3 times, Katoa 4. Katoa's 4 out of 4 and Hudson's 3 out of 5, but don't let the numbers get in the way of a good story. So Young's only in 3.7% teams and Katoa's in 16% of teams. And if Young doesn't get picked for the Blues, he covers around 12 bye that Katoa doesn't. Would I prefer to have Katoa in my team? Yes. But is Hudson Young worth a mention? Also yes.
Obviously Cant and Egan are way ahead of everyone else. Riley Smith is a very dicey option. Also on the dicey list, Jalen de Groot. Last week I was thinking, this week the cheapies of the week are going to be Riley Smith and Jalen de Groot. It hasn't worked out like that at all.
Yeah, de Groot, I think he's a better footballer than he is Supercoach player.
Big time.
And I think that's just going to be the reality of him. I still think there's more upside in Riley, but de Groot, I don't think I'm going to be able to get around him.
7.5 runs a game just isn't. That's
enough.
old school
cut it
fullback.
back.
That's not modern day fullback numbers. Billy Smith, you're a Roosters fan. They love him there. He looked really good on the weekend. That huge stride running down the wing. I like him. I think he's going to be probably the most purchased player next week.
Every time he strides out, I fear for the hamstrings. Let's just let no one jump on Billy. He doesn't need the extra weight. Let's just let him get through this game. Then we can talk.
Do you like him?
We can talk next week.
You say you're just
Actually,
saying
I'm not on the show next week. I'm taking an Easter break.
Right. Oh, well, there you
so
go. You don't have to even worry. Hugo Savala, another Rooster. He looks good. I was watching some highlights on NRL 360 last night, and he looks pretty good. And I'm told he can kick goals as well. He won't, but he can.
Good ball runner, big body. I think he'll do pretty well in first grade. I think he'll be okay.
Yeah, big boy, booming kick too. So while he's not maybe the tactical kicker that others are, he can do that.
He picked up that handy dual positioning as well on Monday too. So look out for that. Thomas Jenkins is still a must. Supercoach Plus, $29.95 for the year. All your projections, everything, all the numbers we talk about, like BEs, projections, price drops, all that sort of stuff is in Supercoach Plus. If you want to be good at Supercoach, you simply have to have it. $29.95 for the year, or get the code subscription for $59 for the year, $1 a week. Get you all the articles, podcasts, videos, absolutely everything, including the stats as well. On to the key injuries. Adam Reynolds, have we heard what's the latest from the Courier Mail and Reynolds? They think he's going to play, right?
Trained. Question is the captain's run. Broncos lock the captain's run now, so nobody can see.
Yeah.
Wouldn't shock me if Pete Bomber Bedell flies a little drone over there, possibly hanging from it, just so that he can be in the shot. So I don't know. We'll find out, but I wouldn't be buying, and I'd probably be selling, since there's some good halfback options at a decent price.
Isn't it fantastic that this has been a monthly conversation for a decade now? He is just the best at what he does, Adam Reynolds. I love it.
Indeed. Dylan Lucas, as I mentioned, looks like he's out for another couple of weeks, so that's good for Thomas Cant if you missed the start of the show. Karaz, did he pique anyone's interest over the weekend? I thought it was a pretty solid return. He's getting up for some high balls, good work rate as per usual. Has the bye this week, but could he be a pre-Origin special?
He could be. I thought he looked really good in his first game back. It's just, as per so many guys in Supercoach, if you're tackle breaking and you're offloading, you're a stud. I can never get around a guy that I don't think can score a try every weekend. And that's just Canterbury for me at the moment. I'm hoping I'm wrong on them, but I don't think I will go in. But, geez, I see the appeal.
See, that's where we're different. Possibly why you're higher in the rankings. I prefer a winger who offloads. You like a winger who scores a try. So I'll take Karaz and you can have Arthur's. I just love an offloading winger. Maybe if you're going to throw a fly out there in the ointment, it's the Lomax injury does open a spot at New South Wales Blues. Karaz is quite a similar body, quite a similar style. Maybe he gets looked at, who knows?
Yep, indeed. Nicholson is absolutely killing it for Supercoaches, but they do have Hosking back next week, apparently. What do we think happens with Nicholson? Is he playing too well? Does he keep Hosking out of the team?
6 weeks ago, I didn't think there was a hope in hell that was going to happen.
Yeah.
I've completely flipped now. I think he will hold that spot. I think Hosking will come back in as a middle forward. When Hosking played through the middle 3 weeks or so ago, Ricky said after the game just how valuable it is to have a guy that can do both of them and how much he loves that. So I'm just not sure how long Corey Horsburgh and Tarpanay can play 60, 65 minutes.
Yeah.
I think if Zach Hosking can do it, why not utilise him there?
Yeah, I agree. I completely undersold Nicholson after his first week. He's been super impressive ever since.
Captains, guys, what are you thinking this week, Guru?
VC for me will be Nath Cleary on Thursday night. Penrith are in slightly better form. I'd just outright captain him. I'm just not quite sure. And boys, I had the captain on Gutho all week last week, and I changed last minute to Payne Haas. And cowards get what they deserved, and I certainly did. I won't be making the same mistake twice.
Yeah, well, I'm going to go Cleary. So he's in 50% of teams. He's VC, and he's only owned by about 50% of teams. So a lot of people are going. I think it's just a given up against the Dolphins. The weather looks pretty good. Dylan Edwards is back into that team, but he's lost his hooker. That for me gets him down from being my straight C to a VC. What are you thinking for VC?
Yeah, VC for Cleary for me. I had captain on Haas after criticising people who put the captain on a boring forward. I finally did it, and then I killed him.
Yeah.
So I'll probably double down and go there again. But I'm really hoping I don't have to use it. I think Cleary will get the job done against the Dolphins.
For the captaincy, so Gutho is at 31.8%. So pretty much if you own Gutho, people putting the C on him. You've got to go VC or C on Gutho. I don't own him, so I'm going to go elsewhere, but you do.
Yeah, I do. I think I will probably go him. I've got a feeling about the Roosters. They put up a good fight against the Broncos. I think Teddy will be involved. So I've got a few options, but at the moment I'm leaning towards Gutho.
What are you thinking?
I'm staying with Hearts.
Staying with us.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot that you said that.
No, that's right.
Sucker
Good of
for
you.
pain.
Good of me to
Good
pay
of you
attention.
to listen to me, Tom. Yeah, thank you.
For me, it's Ponga, 15%. So it's pretty much pod levels for him playing in that last game of the round up against the West Tigers. The stat on him, last 4 games at McDonald Jones Stadium, he scored 4 tons. So he's gone for 5 tons in a row at McDonald Jones. Final thought. I know you've got something to get off your chest.
Well, since I'm not here next week, I'm going to make
here
this
we
my
go.
Easter special. I'm hot and cross about buns. Having watched the Storm Manly game, I have to ask, is there any elastic in NRL shorts anymore? Like it was Moon City, right? Then there was Hamoli, that was an eclipse. The size of those cheeks, and like I was watching it with my children, I had to cover his eyes. I saw more crack than Charlie Sheen's, all right? and like I'm not happy about it.
You're not happy. You're usually you appreciate that sort of stuff usually.
I
James?
don't. Teddy's. I'll look at Teddy's glutes every day,
You
but
don't
everyone
cheat
else's, I just don't need.
You
to
don't
see.
cheat on Teddy.
No.
I've kind of got 2. One of them, updates for me.
Yeah.
Jeez, when I played it safe with Payne Haas, had Nathan Cleary had 96 when I made that decision, I think I would have taken it at that point. My other one, boys, I think for the last few years we've looked at Penrith and sort of gone, it's a hard matchup. We know players are going to score less against them. I think it might be time we switch Penrith and Canterbury.
100%.
Big time.
Yep.
Big time.
That's fair.
Yeah. Well, that is it for our preview podcast. Big thanks to Rob. Big thanks to the Guru. We'll catch you next week for the Teams podcast. See you then.